the biggest challenge for people would be trust.
Mm-hmm.
If you have trust issues,
Mm-hmm.
this will never work for you.
Yeah.
Never.
You have got to trust each other
It would
in
never work.
order for
Yeah.
this to work.
Welcome to our Wisdom and Groove
Welcome,
show today.
welcome.
Today we are talking about women over 50 and this new trend in relationships called LAT.
LAT. Living apart together. What?
Yes. So these are real couples, okay, that are in like a romantic relationship, but they maintain a monogamous relationship, but they maintain their own residences. So you have, you know, one person that stays in their home, another person that stays in their apartment or home, and then they come together at some point, you know, for their dates or their weekends, but primarily they live
apart together.
And they love it.
And they love it. I love it because in the LGBTQ community has been doing this for years, and it has been
always
successful.
Ahead of the trends with stuff.
Yeah. because they're in the mindset of, you know, we're already not accepted, so we're gonna do what works.
Yes,
for
and
us.
rediscovering relationships. Yeah, that's true.
I have one of my closest friends, him and his partner have been together for a long time, and they live apart together. They have their own separate homes, but on the weekends or 2 or 3 days out of the weeks, they actually live together, but then they apart, and it works for them. It has worked for years.
Wow.
Because they set their own boundaries, they have their own space, and they are monogamous. They don't see other people.
Right.
They are together.
Right.
Apart.
Right. Well, I can see this definitely for women over 50 because, you know, many may have had a marriage before, they may have been preoccupied with children before, but this is their time, right? For like independence and for freedom. And when you have other people living with you, even if it's a partner, now you're caring for someone else, right?
Absolutely.
And they want to be seen more as an individual in this stage in their life, right? Because when you are with a partner, you know, lots of times it's just y'all are a couple, you know, and you're just kind of lumped together, like, oh, you know, but you can maintain your individuality this way as well.
Yeah.
Not to mention things like, you know, little habits around the house that are annoying that really can add up and, you know, break up some people. You know, we like to say, that's not important.
It can be showstoppers.
It can seem, right, it can seem small, like, oh, you don't put the cat back on the toothbrush, or, oh, you never wash a dish. You know what I mean? But over time, if one person feels like they're doing more of the household chores and things, that can be very detrimental to a couple relationship between two people. But if you have your own home and you maintain it the way you want to maintain it, and they have their space and they maintain it the way they want to maintain it, like that cuts down on, I think, a lot of arguments, disagreements. It makes the, you know, couple happier to be together.
Much happier.
And also there is this idea too, sometimes when, you know, absence can make the heart grow fonder, right? You're not seeing a person every day, all the time. And then when you are coming together, that time is more special.
It really is. And you see this too a lot with women over 50, especially if a woman have been single for a long time, and then all of a sudden now they find their partner or their mate, but they're so used to their space, their independency. Or a person who has gotten divorced. And they're trying it again, and they meet this person, but they're like, you know, I'm still going to keep my space. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep what belongs to me because I've been there, done that. I don't want to go through that again. And just in case this doesn't work out, we're going to be in a monogamous relationship, but we're going to live apart together, you know? So,
but the question though is, okay, so there's that benefit of the individuality, there's the benefit of not worrying about, you know, kind of little like household chores or little kind of nitpicky things that the person might do, dropping clothes and all this kind of stuff that you're picking up behind them. But also, is this something that can be done unless you have with people who don't have money, you know, because sometimes people are coming together
because of economics,
finances. Right? You know, it's cheaper to live together and have one rent or mortgage versus having two separate like rents or mortgages. Like maybe this is not for everyone, but people who can, I guess, afford or have the luxury to afford to be able to say, I'm just going to continue to like stay by myself.
Yeah. But most times this happens. You see this with people of a certain age.
Yeah. So they're more established financially. Yep,
they're more established financially, because if you look at statistics, this is happening in our over 50 community. It's happening in our LGBT community. It's working for them. So most times they have stumbled upon this. They probably didn't know what to call it. You know what I mean? Because statistics has given it a name, living apart together. But they didn't know what to call it other than the fact that it worked for them.
Right, it works.
This works for us. We've stumbled upon something that actually works for us, and we love each other. We like each other better. You know, we come together and we appreciate each other more because we don't actually live together, but we're together apart. You know what I mean?
Right. But now what about like the society stigma, right? There's got to be stigma around this because you are so used to coupling together, you know, like it cohabitating, right? So coupling normally comes with cohabitating. So people are going to be in the same home and in the same space more often than not, or else people are thinking, oh, you're not really together. It's not like a real relationship.
But that's that cultural or religious too belief that the outside world would have on that couple, like the stigma of you're not married, so you shouldn't be shacking up, you shouldn't be living together, when technically they're only doing it part-time. but still, that the world has so much to say about what other people do.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That's true.
I mean, even when it came to me and my husband's relationship, we got so much backlash about being together as an interracial couple. We got so much backlash from what the world felt like we were doing wrong. You know, it'll never last. That interracial, that doesn't last. Those mixed couples, because this is not right. This is not normal. We've even had, you know, some Christians say to us that this isn't biblical. It's not biblical for you to mix, you know, the cultures. I mean,
where does it say that?
I don't know. But it's not biblical to mix, you know, interracial, you know, cultures.
Yes.
I mean, we've been together 35 years. I mean, it's kind of working.
Right.
and even when he was in the military, I felt like, I used to tell people all the time, I'm married with a husband, but I'm a single parent. Because he would be gone.
Living apart together,
so he was gone all the time. So I felt like
that was acceptable.
It was acceptable. And I felt like we were in that zone of living apart together, because he would be gone for months
at
and
a
months.
time.
And when he come home, we lived together for a couple months, then he's gone again. But it worked for us. It really did. I feel like it made our relationship stronger because I appreciated him so much more when he came. He appreciated me. We didn't take things for granted. But I can see where there are so many other reasons. Like, here is another reason that people may do it. I have children, and I don't want my children to be combined with my relationship. So to keep the peace, I'm gonna live here in this place with my kids. You live there. We're still together, but we're apart, and we come together every now and then, living together in one space.
You know, I like that idea, actually, especially when you have children. If you are a woman that's dating, right? I mean, this is the topic specifically, but I'm just thinking, you know, you have a lot of single moms out here, and they don't want to just be bringing all kinds of, I'm talking about heterosexual relationships at this point, bringing all kinds of men around their children and into their home, or women, right? Or moving. I'm just speaking because I remember my mom was a single mom, and this was her big thing. Or moving them in, you know what I mean, to be there like kind of permanently. Or what if the children don't get along with the guy or the woman or your new partner, whoever your partner is, right?
Yeah.
But now you have this person that's in the home. So now it's causing
100% of the time.
100% of the time. They move their stuff in.
Yeah.
They're taking over space. They're telling people what to do. You know what I'm saying? And they are becoming some kind of, you know, pseudo parent, like in the house. And that could be building a lot of tension between your children and yourself, or your children and this new partner. Instead of, like you're saying, this is the person I'm dating. My children don't have to date them. My children don't really even have to spend time with them. And it actually can make the relationship with your kids strong, because and the relationship with the other person better.
Because they see the protection. They see that you care about their thoughts and what they feel, and then it gives them the space to gradually get used to what is happening, this different normalcy that has happened. There's another reason that people live together apart: caregivers. So if I'm caring for a loved one, and that's very strenuous. I care for my grandmother for 2 years in home, while working full time, while taking care of my kids, while doing stuff in the church. Like I lived off 4 hours of sleep. You know, sometimes that can get very strenuous in the relationship for the other partner. Not saying that the other partner doesn't agree with the caregiving of the family member, but to maybe save what's left of your relationship, you're living apart together because one person is doing the caregiving. You know what I mean? So that's another reason why some people do it.
I mean, I think that's a great reason. Are any of you ladies relating to this, living apart together? Please let us know in the comments. We would love to hear your thoughts on this, because this is really a hot topic. And, and I think it is something that you get to as a mature person. I don't see young people running to do this, especially if you've not been married before.
Young people don't think they can be apart.
Right. And also too, I think when you're young, if you've not had these kind of long-term live-in relationships, it's seen as like a goal, right? Like, oh, you know, it's something we have to do to get married, or not get married, but to live together, you know, with somebody, or we have to all be together with the kids. You know, you got these blended families and stuff. And it's not until you've done that and got into, I think, a certain point in your life where different things are more important to you, and also financially, you know, because as like we said, as you get older, you may be more established financially than if you're younger, right? So you have to kind of come together with this person because it just makes more sense.
Absolutely.
You know, where you'll save money and you'll have everybody under the one roof, you know what I'm saying? And also because of what other people say.
And also
because when you are younger, it makes much more of an impression on you what other people think.
It does.
So you don't want your mom, your aunt, or grandma, what is going on? You shaking up? Da, 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 da. But once you get to be 50, ain't nobody saying nothing to you.
And if they do you really care? Let them.
No. So, they're not paying any of your bills. They're not living there, you know? And just because it wasn't something that your generation did or you're familiar with, that doesn't mean it doesn't work for us and, you know, my relationship.
I have another one that you can identify with living apart together.
A benefit?
Well, I'm saying you can relate to this. Okay. Because one of the partners has a job away.
Oh, yeah.
They have a job away. So you still, when you were working abroad, you still maintain your marital home.
Yes.
And you had your home where you were working.
Yes.
So you lived abroad, you worked, and every now and then you come back, you live together with your husband, or he would come over there and stay with you. You literally lived this for almost 2.5 years.
This is
where you lived apart together.
Yes, this sounds very similar to your military story, because it was like months when we weren't together. And actually, I loved it.
It worked.
And the thing I loved about it was, I mean, there's nothing wrong with, you know, coupledom and marriage and all of this. And, you know, when you've been married over 20 years, you do a lot of compromising.
Yes.
But I didn't have to compromise. It was my place. It was my space. You know, there might have been times when I said,
your boundaries.
Like, oh, what do you think of this furniture? What do you think of that? But essentially, it didn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, I can decorate the place the way that I liked, you know? And I also was able to, like, create this community there that when he came, he would be welcomed into the community. He would meet new people and different people. And then, like you said, just the absence of it. So you are more appreciative of the person when you do see them. You're not nitpicking over little things that you would do day to day because they're just there all the time, you know, and it can really build the relationship and actually make it stronger.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. I did do this. I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
We did live apart together.
You did that. That was you. And it worked. And it worked. And you had a supportive husband, and y'all figured it out.
Yes.
And it worked.
But you know what? Initially, when I was considering moving abroad, there were some family members that were like, "What are you doing? How are you leaving and going to live somewhere separate from your husband?" It wasn't even the children as much. It was more about the husband. I'm like, he's grown, he'll be fine. Like, he can take care of himself. He had his own place before
and how do they know that you and your husband hadn't agreed upon this? Y'all have talked about this, so what does it matter?
Because of how it looks. When you're married, you're supposed to be in the same house as your husband. Women don't leave. Men can leave and go work somewhere else. Women don't leave and go work somewhere else, right? Because even when I lived abroad, there were women there whose husbands traveled for work, right? Or they would go back and forth between countries, like working. But the wife was staying put, in one place. Yeah. But women don't traditionally do that. So there was that.
So it was frowned upon.
Yes. Yeah.
How did you combat that?
What did I say? I think I just, similar to like what we say now, it's my life. If it doesn't work.
And how did they receive that?
We will, I said, if it's our life, we've agreed that this is what we're going to try and do. If it doesn't work, then, I'll just come home. And I guess they just received it. Because it doesn't matter. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you just received it. Like, I don't think, because I'm thinking of one family member in particular, and he, did go on about, well, women are supposed to be, maintaining the home, and they're the ones that are supposed to be there, they're not the breadwinners, the husbanders, and da da da. And I'm like,
I was the breadwinner for years because my husband was in the military, and they don't make any money,
right? So I just kind of listened politely, because this was an older family member, and then we carried on. What we were gonna do.
Thank you.
You don't always
your perspective. Thank you for your advice.
Exactly. It's the other thing too. People can have their opinion, but you don't have to have an opinion about their opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, their opinion is just their opinion,
and let them have it.
Have your opinion. It doesn't dictate what I'm going to be doing with my life. Some people feel that they have to share so they can tell you what to do.
So ladies, are you one of them that are living apart together
or considering
it, and you need more information about it? We'll put something in our show notes about it. But if you're considerate, comment on our videos, comment on the YouTube videos, and put #LivingApartTogether. Let us know what you think. This is really good.
I know. This is such a great topic. I'm so glad we stumbled upon it. You know what I mean?
We stumble upon these through comments. So you guys keep commenting, keep telling us what your thoughts are, especially with women over 40, over 50, what you're going through, what you would like to see topics about. Because a lot of times we pull topics from our comments, from people hitting us in our DMs. Like Kamesha will say, slide into our DMs. We pull them because we feel like if you took the time to tell us about it, if you took the time to comment about it, then it must be something that we need to talk about. It must be something that we need to discuss. So thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it.
And I mean, I'm just excited at all the great new things that women our age are up to. I mean, quite honestly,
we're doing all the things.
We're doing all the things, and we are taking control of our lives and being like unapologetic about how we are living them. And this is an example of that, about how we're like, we can redefine our own relationships now. We don't,
and be okay with it, because ultimately it's between you and your partner. Whatever that may look like, it's between you and your partner. It's not between you and your neighbor. It's not between you and your colleagues. It's not between you and your best girlfriend or your best boyfriend. It is not between you and your family members. It is ultimately between you and your partner. What looks good, what looks right, what fits, what works for you. If I had listened to certain family members of mine or my husband's, if we had listened to certain friends that we ultimately lost because we decided to be together, then I would have missed out on 35 plus years of a really good marriage and my best friend. Don't listen to him. What works for you and your partner? What works? You know, get to what works for you.
We know what works for us, right? We know what we want out of life and what will make us happy. And now we are finally, I think, getting to an age where we can step more into that.
Now we're getting to an age where we feel more confident and stepping into it, because now we're figuring out that it doesn't matter what you're saying. It doesn't matter what people outside of what you're doing is saying. And we're getting to that point where we're bold enough to speak that and to say it doesn't matter, because in your 20s, your early 30s, you're caring, like you said, about what everybody thinks and what everybody says. And I'm telling you guys, I wish, I said this to my husband today, I wish I could receive and process information 30 years ago and apply it the way I receive, process, and apply it today. You know, I really do. I really do.
Yeah. But that would have been much harder, because you gain these things through life experiences and through growth, right? And it takes time. You want to
come on.
At 20, you want to know what you know.
Let's grow.
Because if somebody who would have told you at 60, you know, like, hey, let me tell you this, you probably wouldn't even listen to them. You're like, you don't know what you're talking about. You know?
Thank you, Kamesha.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies. We love you. We love you. We love you. Thank you. Tell
us if you're living apart together. If you consider living apart together. If you think it's the worst idea in the world and you don't understand why people would even do it. We would love to hear that as well.
Yeah, we want to know all the things. All the things about it. Comment all the things. You got anything else?
No.
All right.
Because even in relationships now, I think people want the person close to them so they can see what they're doing all the time.
And that's the whole point of not being able to do it. I said to you that younger people can't do it. They have to be up in each other's face all the time. They have to be right next to each other. They have to know where your location is. They have to turn on their location on your phone in order to achieve the bliss. I don't know, but in order to achieve the bliss of living apart together, there must be
start recording.
Trust. Okay. It's recording.
Oh, just
I didn't.
Oh,
because you started talking about something that was really good.
I thought you had it when you said keep blooming. But no, it came to me because I thought, okay, the only way this is going to work is if you are in a relationship where you are not worried about what the other person is doing. Now, because you're like, they're going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Right. And once you get to be a certain age, I think, also you can't control people. Right.
You can't.
So it's like, I can control myself. I'm going to be honest and in this relationship doing what I need to do. And I'm going to trust that you're honest and in this relationship doing what you're supposed to be doing. And if you're not, I'm also not going to be checking around behind you. I'm not going to be driving past your house to see if anybody is there. I'm not going to be following you, when you say you're leaving there and you're going other places either. So this kind of relationship is not going to work for, like you said, a younger couple specifically, or even an older couple, because older couples too that have trust issues. Like you said,
and it's because of their past. It's because of their past. It's because they have relationship PTSD. But
are you putting your location? I don't have my husband's location.
I have my husband's location, but we
don't know how to get his location.
But we don't check each other. On the phone. It's so funny. We don't even check each other. Like, I'll call him and I'll say, honey, where you are? Because I want him to pick up something from the store. And he said, babe, you have my location. Just check it. I'm like, no, just tell me where you are.
That's too much.
It's just a lot.
And also, I feel like, too, the other thing about that is, okay, on one hand, I get it. You can maybe easily find it, but that reduces real communication because, like you said, that's something you actually check on. Hey, where you at? What you doing? What's going on? Can you stop by here? Versus like, oh, they're here. What are they doing there? And they said they were going to go here, but now they're over there. And now it's like putting all kinds of thoughts in your head. That's how
my daughter's them.
And stress issues. But also, I feel like sometimes you don't need to know.
No.
You don't need to know that much. Okay, I said I was gonna go to one store and come back. I decided to go to a
three
second
other
store
ones.
or third store and come, and then come back from there. And now you're wondering like where I am and what am I doing?
And I'm fine. And I'm fine. So in order for living apart together to work, there must be trust.
Yes.
Keep blooming, ladies.
Blooming, ladies.
Keep blooming.